Hello everyone. I want to begin by showing you a photo. This is Dylan. Well, it's Dylan as a puppy. He's much bigger than this now, but he's still really cute and we think the world of him. I wonder if you've got a pet like a dog or a cat or a rabbit. Now, one of the things you have to do with a puppy is train them. And that's what we had to do with Dylan. To get him to be a good dog, we'd offer him little rewards like dog treats. And we would speak sternly to him if ever he was naughty. Now, I wonder if you get a reward when you do a really good piece of work in class or prove really helpful to your classmates or your teacher. Does your teacher call you out and say, well done? Or maybe you get a sticker in your exercise book, or perhaps a round of applause from the rest of the class. But what about when you were naughty? Not that you're ever naughty, of course, but if you were naughty, would you get told off? Or moved? Or not allowed out to play? Or if you were really naughty, would you get sent to the head teacher? Now, if adults are very, very naughty, they might get sent to prison. And that's what happened to this man. But he was not sent to prison for being naughty or for doing bad things, but for helping people. Now, that's very strange. But Li Heping lives in China, and in China it's very hard to be a Christian. The Chinese government does not like people who are Christians. And Li Heping is a Christian. And all Li Heping was doing was helping his fellow Christians. He's a lawyer, a very famous lawyer in fact, in China. And when Christians got badly treated for no reason, he spoke up about it. Some of those Christians had their churches knocked down by the government. And when their pastors protested, they were arrested and sent to prison. And Li Heping spoke up about that too. And so he was sent to prison as well. He was in prison for 2 years, in fact, and most of that time no one was allowed to visit him. In fact, for much of the time, his wife, his friends, the rest of his family didn't even know which prison he was in. He must have been very lonely. Now, this is Li Heping's daughter. Her name is Li Jiamei, and one day she went to a fancy dress party at a nursery dress like this. Her friends asked her why she was wearing a suit of armour and carrying a sword, and she said, I want to be a knight. That way I can rescue my dad. Li Jiamei really missed her dad. Now, we're very fortunate in that the things that happened to Li Jiamei's dad do not happen in this country, and we should be grateful for that. But the story of Li Heping is a challenge to us all. He stood up for what was right. He supported people who suffered, and he paid a big price for it. He challenged the bullies who made life hard for his fellow Christians. And if we want to follow his example and the example of Jesus, we need to do the same. Sometimes that'll be hard. But in standing up for what is right, we should be following in the footsteps of Jesus. I'm glad to report there's a happy ending to this story because Li Heping was eventually released from prison. And we believe that his release was very much because people, Christian people in the West, prayed for him. And that's something we can all do. We can pray for those who suffer in China because they're followers of Jesus. And there's one other thing we can do. We can encourage those who are suffering for their faith in China by dropping them a line. Pastor Wang Yi of Early Rain Church was sentenced to 9 years in prison quite recently. Like Li Heping, in reality all he did was speak up for Christians in China. He really needs our encouragement. His wife, Jiang Rong, is really missing him. And she's very worried because she doesn't even know where he is. Why not send her a card to cheer up? You don't have to say much, but I'm sure your mum or dad would help you if you got stuck and if you asked them. You can write to her at the address shown here.